So, good morning sa inyo. Itong video na to is I want you guys to see what a real Strandberg would look like. The non-mass-produced one. Because it's very rare to have one in our country. So this one, I will just say that I borrowed it for this video. Now, there's always this question about what's the difference of mass-produced guitars and ones that are very, much more, let's say, special in the price when it goes to that point. Now, I've tested the mass-produced ones, the Strandberg mass-produced ones, and now this one I can finally see the difference. It goes back to the idea that you get what you pay for. This one, I'm not saying the mass-produced one is bad, okay? But this one has more level of detail compared to the mass-produced ones. I could see that the timbers they used are much more selected. I see that the finish is, it's not that different, but you can feel that it is. I cannot relay that on camera, but the feel is different. The balance is even the. So I think on this guitar, this is if you have like some cash to spend on, I think getting the non-mass produced one would be great. Because the reason why I tested the guitar on those stupid chords is because if your guitar doesn't do the polychord thing that it's still clear, it means there's something going on that you need to upgrade or change or something. Unlike this one, when he bought it, it's this way already. So you don't have to think about it too much and just immediately play. I think that's the greatest difference of that level and this level of their product line. Now the thing that's very unique to Strandberg, aside from this one, is their enduro neck. Okay, just for trivia, a lot of people want me to copy this neck. I will not because I respect the company's owner that spent a lot of time making this design. Aside from it's patented, but even if it's not patented, I still wouldn't do it because out of ethical issues. Okay, if you copy it for your personal, like if you build one and it's for your personal thing, like you made it for you, no problem. But if I were the one that I would be selling it, hell no, because you have to respect each other's manufacturer because they have spent a lot of time in research and development to make this happen. And honestly, my opinion on the neck, at first I wasn't really too keen on it, but I got used to it. Gotten used to it with maybe about 30 minutes or 20 minutes. But I get the idea why they did it. It makes you play a certain way that doesn't hurt your hand. Yeah, so that's a cool innovation by Strandberg. And the one I liked about this particular one is they did a neck through, so I can access the frets better. The pickups, I asked, he told me it was bare knuckle, but we forgot what it was. But yeah, it's a very good headless guitar for what it costs. I think it cost like 250,000 pesos or something like that. I'm not sure, but the thing is, for me as a guitar builder, I could see why it's 250k. This isn't like a no-brainer thing. Like, I already know that it costs more than the production line because the detail, okay. Because you don't get roasted wood and just cut it off and put it like this in this pattern. You should know how to orient wood the same way these guys do. The back plate, it's not easy to do. Yeah, and plus everything. What I noticed with a lot of headless guitars, the non-custom ones, is that sometimes you have problem with that's the problem with headless guitars in general, the bridge. I remember buying, well, my customer bought it, but in turn I think I still bought it because I replaced it. He bought a I will not name the brand due to haters, but the bridge costed, for 6 saddles, it costed about 18,000 pesos, roughly $400. But the thing was, it didn't stay in tune and the strings keep flying out of the bridge. So I changed the bridge to the bridge I use, and that worked. That's what you see now if you've seen that Nof Custom Atlas guitar. If you've seen the first photos of it, it had a different bridge. I replaced the bridge with somehow similar to that price, but it really sounded better. The strings didn't snap out of it. That was the best thing about it. And the grounding was correct. The grounding was correct. The first bridge didn't have a ground. I had to ask the manufacturer to, why is it this way, and he told me to sand the bridge. Like, I paid like $400, near $400 for it, and didn't do its job. I will not name his company. You're still an ass. But then anyway, on Strandberg's bridge, I see why they're one of the leading brands for headless guitars, because their bridge is very easy to use. Okay, they're very easy to use. They're very easy to tune. They're very easy to intonate. The ones I'm using personally are somehow the same, but thinking that these were the first ones. Yeah, no, they were first, diba? So if they were no, except for Steinberger. Pero Steinberger is different. I think that's the more genius thing. But the problem with Steinberger's design was you had to have a double ball and string, which I still think that is smart. But string companies won't do that. So in this one, I think these were the first that everybody could easily use, and that's what I think you pay for. This brand, their bridge, their design, this neck. Even if you get the mass-produced one, I've tested the Indonesia one and the other ones. They aren't far apart. The only difference for me is it cannot be relayed into the camera, but what the difference is. But if you see this personally, there's so much more going on that maybe it's hard for me to explain if you don't build guitars. So it's a very, let's say, if you have the money for it, I would rather buy this one than the mass-produced one, because it has more detail in their craftsmanship, especially in this part. This is hard to sand. Even if you have a machine that will do it, you still have to sand it. So basically, The one who sanded it still did a good job. And the top, you won't get this in the mass-produced ones. Okay, for a trivia, this kind of top still costs like $400 to maybe $800, and it really depends. So that's the beauty of this guitar. You can have whatever you like and get it done with, and they will put it on the guitar. It has stainless steel frets and everything. It's like a guitar. You won't need to bother changing anything on it because it's already, ready to go, ready to play, and you can maybe abuse the frets every day for the next 5 to 10 years and you will still have a problem. The electronics are nice. Even I checked the internals, they're really good. They're not cheap parts, and that's what you get for this kind of level of price level of guitar. This is a custom made in Sweden, so these aren't the ones that you usually see. These are actually, this is the first time I've seen one here in the Philippines because it's even so rare to just find a mass-produced one. So for me, this is a good guitar. If you're ever in the market for or in the price range of this one, yeah, I think you should get it.